Well, good evening, everybody. It's Bobby Harvey once again along the tracks in Ottumwa, Iowa for another edition of live train watching here in southeast Iowa. So, believe it or not, today is the final day of summer. And we might get started with some action right away here. Yeah, we'll continue with our introduction here in a second. Let's see what's going on. Okay. What train this is. Wow.
All right, sounds good. We'll wait for him.
Well, from what I could gather, it sounds like that is a northbound CPKC train, and the dispatcher said that they are meeting one at Rutledge, which doesn't happen very much. Let's see. So since we're at McLean Street right now, since we're close to the Gateway Drive crossing on CPKC, we're gonna go ahead and hop down there. So here we go. Now yesterday, or not yesterday, but a few days ago, did my last live stream. It was actually 6 days ago. It took over an hour and a half for the trains to finally show up during the stream. Well, today, things seem to be starting a lot sooner. We're going to take a look at the BNSF signals really quick here first before we go down there. So welcome everybody to the stream. Let's see. There is a clear signal for a movement on the BNSF. Okay, so we're going to get a BNSF train first. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go down to Clay Street for that train, and then we'll be about in the right spot for the CPKC train. So welcome everybody. As I was saying before stuff got started, today is the last day of summer, and it's been kind of a mixture of weather today here in Ottumwa. It's been rainy, sunny, rainy, and now it's just kind of, well, partly cloudy, no rain. Probably won't rain again until later tonight. Tomorrow is a forecast for rain all day. But we haven't gotten very much rain lately, so it's probably a welcome thing for to get us out of almost drought. And I saw a map on TV not too long ago that we were almost in a drought. So rain is welcome. And you know, for what we do as rail fans, you know, it doesn't really matter what the weather does. I mean, we can go out and watch trains at any time of day, any weather, you name it. Okay. Oh no, that train's coming right now. Okay. There's some interesting characters down there where I thought of going. So what we're gonna do is we're going to turn around here as we get to Gateway Drive. And then as soon as the gates drop, we'll go see this BNSF train, and then we'll jump up to Gateway Drive and see this alleged CPKC train. Nobody behind me, so I'm going to go ahead and back up. Because there are other cars approaching now, of course. And there goes our interesting characters. Car's going straight ahead. And there are the gates. You stopping for me? What are we doing here? Okay, here we go. Train number 1. arriving just 5 minutes into the stream. Let's see what it is. Oh, wow, this is going to be a nice one. Stack train. And there we have it, our very first train of the night, just 5 minutes into our stream. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and jump down to Gateway Drive on the CPKC. And see if we can get that train. There's not really anybody coming. Well, actually there is, so we're going to have to go up here. So, we've already gotten one train tonight. And we'll talk more about what that train was as the night progresses. Turn right here. A little safer from... Let's see what's coming here. Here we go. Now this is Main Street going into town, or excuse me, well, 2nd Street. This is 2nd Street. And we're going east. approaching downtown Ottumwa. We're going to turn once we get down to McLean Street, shoot across the BNSF tracks one more time, and then we're going to go ahead.
Dispatcher BNSF 6541 West, ready to clear track warrant 730-19. Wind delayed, over. 441 West, South 30-19 dispatch. Dispatcher BNSF 6541 West, WNT reports clear track warrant number 730-70.
Okay. So for those of you just joining us, we are well into our train watching for the night already. Last time I did a stream, it took an hour and a half for our first train to show up, and then we saw 3 trains. Actually, well, let's see. Yeah, I guess we saw 3 trains in just a little over the course of maybe like 30 minutes. Tonight, we've only been going for 5 minutes, and then we already saw a train. Just 12 minutes now that we've been on the air so far tonight. Hopefully that's a sign of good things on this last day of summer. So now we're going west. We're going to head on down here to the Gateway Drive crossing of CPKC as we anticipate some more action coming our way. Kind of a nice scene. I might go ahead and set up the tripod once we get a confirmation that something's actually coming. And then we'll respond to some of you guys' comments and questions. And we'll go from there. Park right here next to the infamous cinder block of doom. We'll talk a little more about that later if I think about it. Okay, so turn off the car for a few minutes here. You can hear the ambient noises around us. So anyways, that was almost kind of like a cold open for the stream tonight. Already seen one train. That was a westbound BNSF stack train. And for those of you that are familiar with some of the trains that come through here on the Ottumwa subdivision, the hotshot stack train, which that was not, but the hotshot intermodal train that comes through here is the daily eastbound and westbound Z train that runs between Denver and Chicago and vice versa. It used to be called the Den-Chi and Chi-Den, D-E-N-C-H-I for the eastbound train going to Chicago, and the westbound train was reverse, C-H-I-D-E-N. Obviously starting with the Z symbol, which is the high priority intermodal trains on BNSF. I believe Union Pacific uses a similar designation. Recently, I'm pretty sure those trains symbols have been changed to D-E-N-C-H-C and vice versa. I think they're departing from a different yard in Chicago now than the one that they had been leaving from. I'm pretty sure the CHC designation is Cicero Yard in Chicago. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's the symbol designation CHC on BNSF. But those are still the high priority trains, and that was not it, because Z trains are always a mix of intermodal containers and trailer on flat car, also known as piggyback flat cars, truck trailers on flat cars, a combination of the two, which that one was not. That was just plain stack cars, and definitely not anything high priority. And I'm pretty sure that that train is also a regular train here on this line, and it goes from, I think, Chicago to Omaha. And last I knew, I think some of that might actually be grain that is being hauled in intermodal containers going to Omaha, and I think they're exchanged either onto other trains or they're shipped out somewhere else in that area. Not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what those trains are. So that's why that's kind of a hodgepodge of kind of beat up, kind of older intermodal containers, because I think they're actually hauling grain. Yes, A Train is commenting. They did a change from CHI to CHC several years ago that lasted several months. Yeah. And I think more recently they've actually changed the symbol to trains departing from Cicero, which A Train also confirmed for us. But again, I don't know if that's permanent or if that's just temporary, like he was saying, but we'll have to see. But those are the only two stack trains, intermodal trains, that you regularly see through here. And usually the Denver to Chicago Z trains are nocturnal. You usually do not see them come through here unless they're a little late, or, you know, in summertime, the eastbound train typically comes through in the early morning. The westbound, I'm pretty sure, is the middle of the night. But you do occasionally see them in the daytime, and it's always a treat to see them. So that's what that train was. Now we are waiting on a northbound CPKC train, which don't think has left the yard yet. And I think there is another train waiting at Rutledge for this train to go. So we'll have to see. Okay, dispatcher's contacting another train now, it sounds like, on BNSF. Let's see what they say here. Must be out of range. Now you will see the occasional cars go by here. Even though the end of Gateway Drive here seems to, you know, dump out in a kind of a pit, you do see occasional traffic come through here. Not just cars, bicycles too. That's because there's kind of a like a marina and some housing down there along the river, like trailers and like a little trailer park and stuff down there. So people are driving down there to access that and the little marina. And so you'll see the occasional car come through here. And where I'm stopped right now is just kind of a gravel pit for like the city. They have some, you know, gravel mounds down here for probably road work and stuff like that. And this cinder block that I parked next to, I told you on a previous stream that one time I was down here getting a train, and I backed up. I think it was either before or after the train went through, and I didn't realize how close I was to the cinder block, and I scraped the whole side of my car. It was this car, and I scraped the whole side of it and beat up the door and everything else, and had to get it fixed. It was a several $100 mistake. I used to say I make sure that I do not get very close to those from now on, because the cinder block definitely did its job. It kept me from going off into the weeds, but I did not know how close I was to it. All right, let's go ahead and, while we wait for this train, let's go ahead and go back in the comments here and... Oh yeah, DD Rail Videos, welcome. He said westbound stack train should be getting close. I missed that, so I was kind of surprised when I saw it come through. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of times when you're driving, obviously, I can only make so much effort to actually read all the comments as they come in live when I'm driving. I try to catch them all, but also try to keep my eyes on the road, so gonna have to do both. So, okay. James, welcome James from Hamilton, Ohio. It's our regular viewer. And also, DD Rail Video says 664 should be leaving soon. That was at 5:45. Haven't heard anything about them yet, unless that was that train that the dispatcher was just talking to now. But usually you can still hear at least his side of the conversation. I didn't, so I don't know. Railfan 1995. Says his name is Andrew. Welcome. He's at the 3751 event in Los Angeles. Locomotive 3751 is an awesome locomotive. Next to the Big Boy, in my opinion, both are the best. Great choices of locomotives there. The 3751 is a very large Santa Fe locomotive that's stationed out west. Pretty sure it calls Los Angeles home. And unfortunately, it doesn't get very far away from California these days. But back in the day, that locomotive came all the way over here to Chicago and a bunch of other places in the Santa Fe system. Went out to the Grand Canyon quite a few times. I've seen the engine from afar. If any of you have watched the little documentary I did of the Pacific Surfliner, which, believe it or not, that was almost 10 years ago when I got the video for that program. 10 years ago, I went on my big train trip to Los Angeles. That was the last time I was in Los Angeles. So far, the only time I've been in Los Angeles was in the end of September 2014. And I did a lot of filming for my Southwest Chief video on that trip. And when I was in California, that's when I went down. I took a day, on the one day, a full day I was in California, and went down to San Diego on the Surfliner. And as I was on the Surfliner and filming, we went up over the Redondo overpass, which is just outside of Union Station. It takes trains up and over the Los Angeles River and a bunch of highways and other railroad tracks. And down at the roundhouse, or where the roundhouse used to be, near the Amtrak yard, was Santa Fe 3751, the steam locomotive. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. That's where they keep it, in that area, when it's not being used on excursions and out for special events. And that's the only time I've seen that locomotive, but I've seen plenty of pictures and video of it, and that engine is spectacular. And obviously I saw the Big Boy back in 2019 on its inaugural run after its restoration. Now, the Big Boy just recently came through Iowa. I was unable to see it this time, but I know a lot of you were able to see it, and I really haven't watched a whole lot of video yet of the train when it came through Iowa most recently. But there's just a lot going on, and it was right after Old Threshers when it came through, so I didn't really have any time from work to be able to take to go see it. So I missed out on it this time, but it's really kind of a duplicate of what I got in 2019. So there really wasn't too much new stuff that I would have been able to get that I didn't get in 2019. So that was the most recent big steam engine to come through Iowa. And the Big Boy, I'm pretty sure, is in Texas right now. And then it's going to work its way back up. I think it's going to go through like Oklahoma and Kansas and kind of back up that way to Cheyenne. I don't know if they're going to hit Kansas City on their way back. They might. But that's going on right now. Let's see what else. So Mark in Washington, he's watching. Welcome, Mark. He said, we missed all the rain in Washington, unfortunately. We need it badly. Yeah. So Washington is about, let's see. Now, railroad miles, it's about, 30 miles or so northeast of here on the CPKC, the old Milwaukee, which we're looking at right now. So they're pretty much still in our region. So it's amazing that they didn't get any of that rain that we got here earlier. Yeah, Mark says 53 highway miles. So yeah, that sounds about right. And the storm that went through, it wasn't really a storm. It was just kind of a heavy shower. And the way it tracked, it came over us and it looked like it was kind of going directly east. And north of us wasn't really many clouds at all. So it makes sense that Washington didn't get anything. But yeah, we're almost in a near drought down here because we really haven't got much rain in the past several weeks, and it's been pretty hot. That may change tomorrow, as there's a forecast of rain pretty much all day. Now, I mentioned in the last stream, which was 6 days ago, that I was thinking of going up to Boone for the Pufferbilly Days up in Boone, Iowa. I'm still planning on doing that tomorrow. Probably won't do a live stream or anything like that then. Probably won't get a whole lot of video either, but I'm planning on checking out the train show, seeing if I can find anything to spend some money on there, and then we're planning on riding the Boone and Scenic Valley Railroad. First time in a few years, so that should be interesting. But it's supposed to rain all day, so we got coach tickets, so we're not out on the open car. So if it does rain, we'll still be able to enjoy the ride. We'll be able to stay nice and dry on the train. Aha! Well, as you just heard, a couple toots of the horn, our train is getting close. So what we're going to do is we are going to get the windows back up on the car real quick here, and we're going to change to battery power. We're going to get the phone on the tripod, and we are going to head out and get this train. So I'm going to go ahead and get the phone on the tripod before we get out there. Tripod mount here. Run around real quick and we'll head out and get this train. Okay, A-Train just said that number 5, Amtrak, has just left Mount Pleasant. Let's see, what to do. This is a pretty good spot right here, actually. I'm just gonna go right here, set up. So it's gonna get just slightly jerky here as I raise the tripod. I do apologize for that. So we've been on the air for about 30 minutes, in fact 30 minutes exactly right now, and this is already our second train of the night. Okay, get things leveled out here. So we are looking about, give or take, kind of southeast right now on the CPKC, which I'm kind of glad we're getting a train on the CPKC because we haven't gotten any in the past couple of streams. Just, timing, just depending on what's around, we just haven't had a chance to get one. So it'd be nice to get one now. And I do not know what this train is. I do know, I'm pretty sure that the train in Rutledge Siding right now is a 260, which is a southbound train. I don't know what this train might be, so we'll have to see. Now, I heard a horn, but I haven't heard anything else, so they must be creeping out of the yard, or hopefully they're actually coming this way, and it's not a southbound, but I haven't heard any warrants or anything for southbound traffic, so I'm assuming that it is indeed the northbound they were talking about earlier. But we've got Amtrak coming too, so I mean, this is kind of a sticky situation in a way. If this train doesn't get through quickly, we might have to settle for just getting one shot of Amtrak tonight. That's okay though. Yeah, Mark says 5 is nearing Rome now, which obviously not Rome, Italy, Rome, Iowa, which is just west of Mount Pleasant. We're here on the CPKC waiting for a possible northbound train, which hopefully it's actually coming. And while we're waiting, let's go ahead and see some more comments here. That was about alrighty. We're about caught up. Bright Line, Bright Blue says, "Sup, man? Welcome to the stream." All right. Well, it's a pretty nice night for the last day of summer. And typically, it gets a little chilly in the last few days of summer and the end of September, but really, it's just seemed like summer for the past several days. We have had a few cool downs at night and not so warm days, but for the most part, it seemed like summer for most of this month. Now, that is going to change next week, coincidentally, with the first day of fall. It's going to be very fall-like. The highs are not going to exceed mid-70s pretty much for the whole week next week. And some chances of rain, including tomorrow, maybe a couple other days. So we'll have to see what happens there. Well, we are going to wait here for another 5-10 minutes or so. Hopefully something starts moving by then. If not, we are probably going to get positioned for Amtrak. Now, having looked at the Galesburg rail cam, as some of you probably already have, there are a couple of goodies on Amtrak tonight. And they just happen to be the same two private cars that we saw come through a few weeks ago on the end of the train. So kind of like to get down there and get Amtrak coming in, providing that we're able to. But I would also like to get this train too. So we're just gonna stay here and hopefully it comes through before Amtrak gets too close and we have time to get down there. I heard a whistle that something was moving, but I haven't heard any other whistles. We'll be able to hear them when they whistle for Quincy Avenue, which is the crossing right before they go across the Des Moines River, and they curve around and come past us here. I don't know, maybe that's not the northbound train that we've been talking about. I feel like it should be, though. So the track closest to us here, you might notice that there are two tracks. And the track farthest away from us is the main line. The track closest to us is actually an interchange track, which is still used very regularly. I don't know if it's used, I don't know when those trains come through, if they are daily trains or if they're, every other day or as needed. It is used by coal trains that come off of the BNSF and they go down to the CPKC yard. And then CPKC takes them north on their line up to Muscatine and Fruitland, Iowa. There are a pair of power plants up there that get coal from the Powder River Basin off of BNSF trains. So they use this interchange track to go from BNSF to CPKC and back. When they come back down empty, they go down into the CPKC yard and then come back onto the BNSF this way. Well, hopefully we get some more insight on what's going to happen here on the CPKC so we can make a decision on what we're going to do, whether we stay here and potentially get this train or not worry about it and get Amtrak. I wonder if I should go ahead and move, because I wonder if BNSF has already lined up Amtrak. And if that's the case, then the CPKC train is waiting on a signal and they're not going to go. I wonder if that's happened because Amtrak is running on time. So I think we probably should go ahead and get ready for Amtrak, or at least check on that signal. The CPKC train is still coming. We can find another place to get it, but I think that's what we should do. Let's go ahead and get ready to go down and get Amtrak, because I don't want to miss them. If we can keep from it. So I'm going to go ahead and back in the car here. Now, there actually used to be a bridge to Turkey Island, which is down there, pretty much just right in there. There was a road bridge that went across. And I actually, the first time I came down here and got a train, it was still there. That was in 2010, and it was taken out very soon after that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and see about getting Amtrak here. So we're gonna get back in the car and head on down and at least see what the signals are doing. And, go from there. I bet you that's what happened. I bet that train is ready to go, but because BNSF's lined up Amtrak, they're not going to move until they get a signal, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and see if that is the case. And if not, well, we can run back here and get the train. But I bet you that's what happened. So obviously, BNSF is in control of the signals down at the interlocking, the diamond, which is just to our left from this spot. Obviously, I know you guys like seeing Amtrak, as do everybody on these rail cams and live streams. Amtrak is very popular. So, and it's popular for me too. I've been a huge Amtrak fan ever since I was a kid. So, we're gonna prioritize getting Amtrak, and then we'll come back when the other trains start rolling. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a left and go down to Clay Street to see if my theory about what BNSF's doing is correct. And I'm sure it probably is. Pretty good feeling that they have indeed lined Amtrak through already. There. Once again, this is where we saw our first train of the night. Let's see. The signals are not even lit. Okay, well, regardless, I think it's probably still a good idea that we get ready for Amtrak, because they are running pretty much on time, and when they are, they will get to Ottumwa probably within the next 10 minutes or so. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for them. Haven't heard any signs that this northbound CPKC train has even left the yard yet, besides the two little toots on the horn and nothing else. So we're going to head on down towards the station, get Amtrak. Because they are getting close. And then I don't know if that southbound CPKC train will come down from Rutledge after the northbound gets through. BNSF 664, which is the local from Eddyville, it's on its way too. So we might have a pretty productive last half here. So last time on the stream, I took you guys around to where some of the new signals and projects that BNSF's working on here in town are located. And there's actually been some more progress on those since our last stream. And it kind of answers some questions I had about the placement of the signals on the east side of the Jefferson Street Viaduct on the BNSF tracks, and to the crossover that they're putting in there. And it actually makes a lot of sense now. We have time, we might jump down there and see what I'm talking about. Gateway Drive here. Going by now. We're on Main Street, heading towards downtown. Now eventually, especially as the fall, we really get into fall and winter, we should do some live streaming on the station platform after dark. It's going to be really neat because the brand new platform canopies have all new LED lighting. It's really nice. It really brightens up the scene. Great to get night shots down there. You know, we could go to the station now and see Amtrak, but it might take a while for us to get out of there and get going if there are other trains in the area. So I think we're just going to go ahead and get them somewhere else downtown here. Now, last time we were down here, we got to get our picture taken from the Google Street View car a couple blocks up. It'll be interesting to see the updated pictures and see if it actually features my car. That was the stream I did last Sunday. This is Market Street. Now we're into downtown Ottumwa. McLean Street. If the cell signal allows us to, we might pop on down to Vine Street and get them coming in from there. Vine Street is the next grade crossing to the east of Green Street. Just on the eastern edge of downtown down here. Train comes in at a decent time, probably will. We'll have plenty of time to get to another spot to see him leave. All right, we're getting close to Vine Street. Might be able to see some of the work that they're doing down here. I was just talking about. In here. I'm not going to go too far up in the weeds. I'm going to try and maybe get the camera on the tripod here if we can. Get a slightly better view. So this is Vine Street. Vine Street crossing that we're near. It's right there. All right. So Amtrak is on their way. It's going to be the second train we've gotten for the night. We're going to see them come in, and we'll see them depart. And then hopefully we'll get some other trains as well. There are other ones in the area. All right, slightly sideways here for a second. There we go. Here we We're not going to go too far out here because I don't want to trespass. This is kind of a different scene, which I've gotten before. There is a hopper car right there, which is kind of a small siding that the Burlington Junction uses. Out here, I'm gonna level it a little further. Okay. And I don't know, back in the day, this siding or this hopper car's on, it might have led to the kind of the roundhouse and some other sidings back in the day. So obviously now it's just a short siding. Might be able to get a couple cars in there. Usually there's just one in there. Now, behind that hopper car are the new signals that are being placed where they're going to put in new crossover. BNSF's putting in crossovers on the east and west side of the station to allow Amtrak to always come into the station on Main 1, because once they're done with the platforms completely, there will only be the one platform on Main 1. And the last time I was down here, there were only 2 signals, and I was wondering why they were kind of staggered. Well, that's simply because they didn't have all the signals up yet. They do now, and they are all placed in the way you would expect by a crossover. 2 eastbound facing signals and 2 westbound facing signals with a large gap in between where the actual crossover will be, and signals for either track. So the eastbound facing signals are going to be pretty much where that one signal was that we were looking at that was close to the siding where all the hopper cars were. And then the eastern side of it is for the westbound facing signals, which is kind of right where the Burlington Junction's locomotive was parked in our last stream. They only had those 2 signals up last time. Now they have all 4 up. And you can really see where the crossover is going to go. It's pretty much going to go where the existing hand throw crossover is now. But obviously, they're going to take that out and put in a longer crossover that trains can go through at a much higher speed. So we're probably going to get Amtrak just coming by this scene, because obviously looking east isn't very much, because you've got all this panel track sitting here, which is probably going to be used for the crossover and other related work. So we are waiting on Amtrak. It is 6:37. We're along the BNSF Ottumwa subdivision here at McLean Street in Ottumwa. As of 6:35, Amtrak was going through Fairfield at 60 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure that is track speed for passenger trains through Fairfield, so that was at 6:35. I do know that sometimes the app is about 5 or 6 minutes late, so they're probably a ways west of Fairfield now. But driving on the highway, it only takes about 20 minutes to get from here to Fairfield. So Amtrak, going about 80 miles an hour once they get out of town, probably another 15 minutes or so from 6:35 at least. So we've got another at least 10 minutes. Now, with those new signals being put in, these signals right here that have been here for a long time will probably be removed. Because obviously you don't need two sets of signals that close together. Now, this is what they do when they have, you know, track projects like this. You know, you automatically think when they're building railroad tracks that it's like in the old days where, you know, you get the ties and you spike them all down and you lay it all by hand, you know, at that point. When they have, you know, small track work like this, or smaller track work, they send the track in panels. And then they piece it all together when they get to the final job site. It's kind of similar to how you put pieces of track together on a model railroad. These are very short segments. I'd say they're probably, oh, I don't know, maybe 30 feet long. I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to be broken up and used in this crossover work. We'll see. The BNSF has panel track here. They've got some down at the Diamond with CPKC because they're going to be redoing one of the crossovers there and potentially putting in another one down there too. And they might be putting in 2 crossovers over here as well. It'll be interesting to see what they do, what the final product will be. A-Train just let us know at 6:40, Amtrak number 5 is by agency, so they are on their way. Probably within the next 5 or 6 minutes, they'll be here. So we're gonna see them pass here, and when they approach, we're gonna turn the camera this way, back to where the hopper car is. See them go by here, and then we'll jump ahead once they get in the station. Thinking maybe Clay Street would be a good place to see them go by this time. That way, we'd be pretty close to CPKC when those trains depart. Now, is there anybody down here that's watching that likes cats? Because there is a cat on the other side of the track. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, there he is. Kind of blurry, but looks like he's mousing right now. It's kind of either that or bird watching. Black and white cat. I like cats. I like dogs too. I like cats and dogs. Surprisingly, they actually get along pretty well in most circumstances. Yeah. And of course, on the railroad, a very famous railroad from years past, the Chessie had a cat as their mascot. Chessie Cat for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. And obviously in later years it became the Chessie system when the Chesapeake and Ohio merged with Baltimore and Ohio and Western Maryland. And then of course Chessie system became CSX when Chessie merged with Seaboard and all of their railroads. Katie's moving. Slinking along. That we're just down here waiting for Amtrak, watching cats. Now, something exciting for future live streams. I'm sure many of you have noticed in my parts of these live streams when I'm on the road, when we're in the car, you notice a very loud bumping noise, and that's just, it can't really be avoided, kind of like that. Whenever the car is going down the road and you hit a bump, the camera, the iPhone microphone picks up a really loud kind of banging sound from the iPhone mount that I have in my car. It can't really be avoided when you're using the iPhone speaker because, it's obviously right up against the mount that keeps the phone on the mount. But it's really annoying and you can barely hear me when that's going on. So I have invested in some lavalier external microphones that hook up to the iPhone, and hopefully I'll be able to integrate those into future live streams. And then not only will you not hear that annoying bumping noise as we're going down the road, you'll also be able to hear me a little clearer too. Now, I'm pretty sure the ones that I got, it's a set, and you can have two of them running at the same time. So you'll be able to get one with me, so you can really hear me clearly, and then the other one can be placed elsewhere to get more of the ambient sounds of the train going by and things like that, and be able to hear both crystal clear. So be looking for that in some future live streams. I think it'll really improve things. Now, the very first live streams that I still did with my older iPhone, and this is an iPhone 14. And it really has improved the overall quality of the streams. All right, here we go. Amtrak is approaching. Train number 2 on our live stream for the night. Oh, wow. Wish you could have seen that. Okay, there goes the Zephyr. They're approaching their stop in Ottumwa. We're going to go ahead and jump around to the other side and see them departing. As you can see, those two Patrick Henry private cars were on the end of the train tonight. Now, what I was talking about is the train approach, that I wish you guys could have seen that. Well, if I had the camera pointing towards the panel track, you would have been able to see the lead locomotive billowing pure black smoke like an Alco diesel locomotive. It was spectacular. It looked like a steam locomotive. The engineer was notching up the throttle, I'm sure, for whatever reason, and it was a show. I was about ready to pan the camera that way, and then it dissipated, but that was neat. Not great for the environment, but it's a pretty neat thing to get on video. All right, so for those of you just joining us, I see we got 23 people watching now. We just got Amtrak coming in to Ottumwa. Now we're gonna go get Amtrak leaving Ottumwa. So for those of you that missed Amtrak coming in, don't go anywhere because we're gonna see them leaving. Get the camera back in here really quick, and then we'll go on down to the other side. Now it is 6:47, and the new scheduled departure time for Amtrak, since they adjusted the schedule, is 6:57. So we've got a little time to get in position into our next spot. So as I was saying, the noise that you hear on the tripod or on the phone mount as I'm driving around will eventually go away because I've purchased some new audio equipment that hopefully will work for these live streams. But for now, I'll just try and go a little slower so you don't hear a lot of that. sure there's nobody coming. Kids down there on bikes, but get out of my way. So here we go. Now this is the Vine Street crossing. We just saw Amtrak go by there, and they are in the station right now. So we'll be departing about 10 minutes or so. Now the signals there are lit, but obviously, I mean, I've said this before, those are ABS signals, so them being lit is probably just because Amtrak just went by. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's an eastbound train coming. However, some of you guys have said that 664, the local train, is on its way. Haven't heard anything on the radio that they've left Eddyville yet, but we might not have been able to hear that. So hopefully in our travels over to the other side, we won't miss any potential passage of that train. So we're going west now. We're coming back into downtown Ottumwa. And as you can see, it's starting to get cloudy. There's going to be rain moving in later on tonight and into tomorrow. As summer comes to a close. Kind of a bittersweet day, I suppose. I mean, summer ending is probably kind of a sad day for some of you, but some people, like myself, it's almost like Christmas Eve in a way, because we are approaching my favorite time of year, which is fall, which begins tomorrow. Oh dear, be careful. And I've actually gotten a decent amount of trains on the last day of summer in the past. One that really sticks out to me is, I don't remember what year it was. It was either 2010 or 2011, the last day of summer, 2010 or 2011. I was over in Batavia, Iowa, which is just east of here, filming trains on the BNSF, and I got Amtrak coming through Batavia. It was after sunset. There was just a little bit of light left and a full moon rising over the tracks, and I got Amtrak coming through at speed in Batavia with the full moon on the last day of summer. That was probably one of the most memorable train watching days that I've done on this day in years past. That video was featured in one of my so far only DVD only titles, which I'll probably upload to YouTube eventually. It was one of my older Trains in the Heartland videos that I filmed with my standard definition camera. So Amtrak is in the station now. We're going to go down to Clay Street to get him leaving. I'm pretty sure that was the CPKC. Yeah. Let's listen to them for a second here. So basically, the CPKC dispatcher is telling these trains, from what I can see, or hear rather, that they are indeed waiting for Amtrak, and then they'll be able to come through after Amtrak leaves. So that'll be good. We get a couple more trains before the end of our day here. And as I said in the past stream, we are approaching the end of having any daylight at this time of night. Really, around the beginning of October is kind of the dividing line between getting Amtrak westbound in the daytime, and then it'd be night. And it'll be that way until spring for the most part. Now, speaking of time, okay. We got another train coming. And it's 6:64. BNSF 664 coming by right now.
730-21 Zephyr Street,
Well, I'm glad I looked to my left when we were going by there. We would have missed 664, and that was a pretty good lash up. SD40-2 on the front, a GP60B, the second unit, then another 4-axle engine, a GP38-2 or something along those lines is the third engine. All matching a paint scheme too, a Heritage 3. That was nice. So we are going to continue down to Clay Street, quick as a wink, because Amtrak is pulling right now as we speak. And that is called some good dispatching right there. Pulling 664 across in front of Amtrak, crossing over to Main 2 from leaving Eddyville. And now Amtrak is leaving right on time. So it kept the freight trains moving. And
guys lost a little whistle, but we're standing in the quiet. Yeah.
kept the freight trains moving, and we also kept Amtrak moving, which, you know, everybody's happy. We always like that. Everybody's happy on the railroad. Doesn't happen much, so we'll take it. All right, I don't know how close they are. Might just kind of hold back until they trip the... Oh yeah, we're not going to have long. Might just kind of hold back. There's nobody behind me. Still nobody. Still nobody. Come on, Gates. Yeah, I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and park.
Amtrak 5, cleared the IC.
Yeah, you're right, A-Train. CPKC did have to wait. So, yeah, as I said, it's very rare that everybody's happy on the railroad. But Everybody's happy on the BNSF right now.
Nova 4757.
And here comes Amtrak departing Ottumwa here at Clay Street.
Amtrak 5 back on that clear 2 to copy, over. 2 to copy, over. 2 to copy? That's right, we got track, over. Okay, go ahead. 729-24 to the Amtrak 30 West, helping to 3569 on 2, over. Wow, that's 2924 from the hopping to CPKC 3569 Makersburg. That one is correct, and 729-25 to the Amtrak 30 West, 3569 to Creston on 1. 729-25 from CPKC 3569. That one is also correct. Alright, conductor number 5, do you agree that we're number 730-21?
All right. Amtrak was our second and, well, in a way, fourth run by. Second train. We have gotten 3 trains now. Uh-oh. That did not sound good.
Alright, there's people fishing on the bridge at 281.18 that do not seem to want to get off the bridge to go by.
Oh dear.
Amtrak 30 West to dispatch. We've got 730-21. We have it split. Amtrak 30 West, 730-21 display. Amtrak 30 West reports clear track wire number 730-21 with limit CTC Lucas Street to the westbound control to the last CD railroad crossing. This report here at 1901-1901. 30 West is reporting clear track line 730-21 between Lucas Street and west control from 1901-1901. Yes, sir, that is correct. Conductor engineer review, that is correct. Time 47 and 57 on time. 47:57 on time. That's all correct.
Well, it sounds like, hopefully, those people got off the tracks. You could hear on the radio the engineer laying on the horn on Amtrak. People on the bridge just west of town there didn't want to get off. All right, so Amtrak is now clear of Ottumwa. So now we're going to see about these CPKC trains. As it just hits just a little after 7 o'clock. Amtrak departed Ottumwa right on time. Yeah, A-Train says, sounds like the bridge over Harrow's Branch. That's what I was thinking too. It's a very short bridge on the BNSF, but the Harrow's Branch Bridge on CPKC is a little trestle. It's a pretty neat bridge. Excuse me. All right, we are back at Gateway Drive. Hopefully, these northbound trains will actually move now. You can see what they are. At this point, I do believe, since it's getting a little dark out, we are going to remain in the vehicle. Try and frame ourselves decently here with the railroad crossing. There's that infamous cinder block again. There we go. That frames up pretty nice. And we wait. As the sun goes down, So for those of you still with us or just joining us, we have seen a total of 3 trains so far. First train was a westbound BNSF stack train, which I believe was a stack train going to Omaha. Second train was Amtrak. And the third train was BNSF's local freight 664. Now, A-Train asked not too long ago if 664 has work to do in Ottumwa. I'm not sure. It would be kind of neat to hop over there and see them working, but that would involve missing these trains. So we'll see here. Again, it just depends on if these trains get rolling, which I would think that they would. I don't know if there's any other movements on the BNSF that they would have to wait for, but excuse me. As you might have heard, as Amtrak was... Okay. As you might have heard on Amtrak, as they were going by, they were giving out, they were repeating the warrants that they got for westbound movements. And their warrants helping to another place west of there, I don't remember what it was, on Main 2. So they're jumping over to the other track for a while, and then they're going to go back to Main 1, I think into Creston. So they're probably hopping around other freight trains and stuff out west of here. So I'm sure BNSF is glad that they got 664 through, and I do hear some communication on the radio of sounds like switching, so I'm guessing 664 does indeed have work that they're doing in Ottumwa right now. So I hope that these CPKC trains kind of get through quickly so we can potentially go down there and check them out. But again, still no other sounds from the CPKC trains, so either they don't have the light or they're not actually coming. I wonder if they don't have the light. So I wonder if there's another westbound BNSF train. Well, we will wait for a few minutes and see if anything changes, and if not, we'll jump down to Clay Street again, check on the signals, and that'll tell us what's going on. Now, for those of you that are into ATCS Monitor, the Ottumwa area is monitorable on the CPKC. Now, if I had a mobile device that was Windows, I'd be able to have it powered up right now, but I don't. Obviously, I have iPhones. Okay, this sounds like the CPKC being toned up, so let's listen and see what they have to say here. These might be the trains we're looking for. Yeah, A-Train says they didn't have any work, that 664 would get to agency before dark. Yeah, unfortunately, I think they are actually working down there. They might not even leave Ottumwa before dark at this point, because with the clouds, the sun goes down a lot sooner. It's kind of a nice view, though, these clouds. Interesting patterns. So if we do get a CPKC train, this will be a decent spot to get them. But again, still no sound or no word on where those trains might be or how soon they will come by. But we just had at least 2 people tone up the CPKC dispatcher just now, so we'll see if there's any communication here shortly as to what's going on. Just kind of thumbing back through some of your comments here, you guys. I've missed very many. As we were going by the station, A-Train said you could see a bit of 3001, the steam locomotive parked behind the station. And Mark said at 6:53, he said there's a little blip of rain approaching Albia. Now, for those of you that remembered my more recent stream from this spot, I was trying to clean all the bug guts off of my windshield. And I needed new wipers. Well, I finally installed my new wipers on the car right now. Okay. It's a southbound.
Track war number 10521052, September 21st, 2024, to the BNSF 848880 south at DCH at Ottumwa. Check line number 2, proceed from south at DCH yard on Ottumwa. Laredo on main track.
Wow.
South at following switches, will now be in normal position. South at the UCH, signing switch Moravia. South at the UCH, signing switch Sewell. And north at ORTH, signing switch Midtown. Track warrant number 10521052, that's 2 total lines checked. Line numbers 2 and 20.
Oh boy, what to do? Should I get this southbound? Well, what should I do?
Track one number 10521052 with 2 total lines checked, line number 2 and 20. Located 1912, 1912, dispatcher That is correct. That is all correct.
Huh. Well, I wonder if these other trains don't exist. So in that case, maybe we should try for this train. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's try and get this train as they leave Ottumwa. It doesn't look like there's anything else coming that I can see, so we are going to try and get over there and get this train leaving. Has an interesting locomotive leading for the CPKC, a BNSF locomotive, what appears to be let's see, an 8400, which is a SD70 ACE, I think. I would go check the signal there at Clay Street on the BNSF, but if we want to get this southbound on the CPKC, we probably don't have time for that. So we're going to just head on out and try and get this train to round out our stream for the night. They just got their warrant, so it'll take them a little while to get out of the yard. So let's hope we've got enough time to get there. Because we're on the north side of town, we got to drive to the south side of town to see them. Let's see what we can do. are in pursuit, and we are trying to get to the other side of town to get this CPKC southbound, since it seems to be probably the only other thing going on right now. Whoops, besides the local that's in the yard right now. Adjust the camera mount here. Looks like it got loose. Lovely roads of Ottumwa. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that is pretty loose. And we'll tighten it up for now. We'll raise it later. Head past the motel. It's near Bridgeview Center. Coincidentally, this is kind of the same route we took when we ended our stream last time. About the same time of day. Hopefully we don't have to go too far to get ahead of this train. Alright, we are heading towards what will probably be our last train of the day, as we are running out of light. We've already seen 3 trains so far. Alright, here's an opportunity to readjust the camera here. There we go. That's better. And no, I am not going to Hy-Vee this time. At least I don't think I am. We're going to go further west. This train is departing Ottumwa as we speak, so I don't know how far out of the yard they are right now. Then we got that southbound leaving Rutledge, it sounds like. So, I mean, the A-train says you can still get ahead of them, which I know I can because I have done this, I mean, many times. Chasing the trains down the CP and, of course, CPKC. You have A-train that says 8909 South is leaving Rutledge. So we could have gotten a train there at Gateway Drive if we had waited. But we didn't. We were taking a chance. Sometimes that's what you have to do when you're rail fanning. But here we go. What is this, a race? Good grief. Have fun, guys. I have just one word. Purple. I don't know if purple is the best color for a sports car, but that's just me. So we're going past the theater there on our right, west on Highway 34. Trying to get this CPKC train before we lose all of our light for the evening. Now, A-Train has commented, Saturday night racing in Ottumwa is unheard of. It's never been done. That's because they do not have their county fair. The Wapello County Fair is not held in Ottumwa. It is held in Eldon. In my opinion, I think the county fair would be a lot more, I think there would be a much bigger attendance if they had it in Ottumwa, but it's held in Eldon. It's just a tradition. It's where the fairgrounds is. Alrighty. We get past all this traffic going to the shopping centers here on the west side of town. There goes our sports car buddy. We will have a clear highway to hopefully overtake this train somewhere. Now, there are many places that you can go to get these trains. Bidwell is a good spot, which I've gone to in a previous live stream from last year. Another one is 215th Avenue, which is kind of in between here and Blakesburg. We might have to go there at this point. We have to slow down quite a bit. That should be the last spot where we have to slow down in pursuit of this train. So here we go. Be able to get our first visual of the train. Hopefully. There it is. They are still pulling out of the yard. They are pulling out of the yard. There is indeed another train parked in the yard. So obviously the plan has just been revealed. That southbound train at Rutledge is going to come in first, and then that northbound is probably going to go after the southbound gets in. So alright, here we go. We're going to notch up to highway speed here. See, the train is off to our right there as they're pulling out of the yard. Be really careful here for turning traffic. Down there's Rocket Fuels. We stopped there once before. See if we can get ahead of the head end of the train. If we can, we might try and get the train at Bidwell. But actually, at this point, we probably should get it at 215th Avenue. So I think that's where we're going to go. We're still going at a pretty slow speed, so we should be able to get ahead of them there. That's what we're going to do. Kind of a rule of thumb when I'm chasing trains down. Well, there's the head end. There we go. We might be able to get them at Bidwell. I do know that the reception down there at Bidwell is kind of spotty, so we might go ahead and try 215th Avenue and see how the reception is down there. My rule of thumb for chasing southbound trains on the CPKC is that if you do not overtake the head end of the train before the tracks go off into the trees away from the highway, you shouldn't attempt Bidwell. If you do get ahead of them, the head end, before the tracks branch away, then you can still meet them at Bidwell. But we're going to go ahead to 215th Avenue just to be on the safe side. So we got a small train chase in tonight's live stream. This is something I really haven't done a whole lot of, is actually go out of town. We have done it some on previous streams, but not a whole lot. this is Highway 34. This is how you get to Albia. It's about 20 miles away from Ottumwa, highway miles. Closer to about 22 miles to be more precise, but and you got to be really careful through here because the deer can really pop out in a hurry on this stretch of road. I do not want that kind of excitement in this stream. That would, I mean, unless I miss them, then it's, you know, kind of funny, but it's not funny if you hit one, so definitely not going to get much higher than our highway speed through here. Right up here is the turnoff to Bidwell. You can just see how close we are to Ottumwa at that spot. It's very close. And I do know the internet reception down there for live streams is kind of hit or miss, so. And it might kind of go in and out as we go down in here too, so. Try and keep it up as we go through here. So for those of you that have stuck around till the end, we have had a pretty productive stream tonight. Probably just going to be a little over 2 hours when all is said and done. We've seen 3 trains so far. 2 BNSF trains and Amtrak on the BNSF. And we are going to see a CPKC train here on the outside of Ottumwa. A few miles outside of Ottumwa, railroad miles. And this is actually the bridge over the CPKC tracks. And we're going to come around this curve up ahead and take a left at the next road. That will be 215th Avenue. I hope there's a decent signal down in there for live stream video. I don't think I've had problems having cell signal down there in the past, so we shall see. I've never gotten a train down here on a live stream before, so it should be interesting. You guys have to let me know how the picture looks when you get down there. Alright. Thankfully, there's nobody behind us right now. We're going to go ahead and get ready to turn left here. As we go off the road pavement into gravel. And there are no cars immediately approaching either, so able to get right off, which is always nice here, because you've got a blind hill behind you. You don't want people flying over that hill and waiting for you to turn, not realizing you're there, potentially rear end you. That'd not be good. Alright, we're going to go down this hill. As you can see, there's the advanced warning sign for the railroad crossing up ahead. This is 215th Avenue. The first time I ever filmed a train down here, or took pictures of a train down here, was the year 2010. Hard to believe it's been almost 14 years ago that I first started chasing trains on this line. I'm going slow because the road right through here is like a washboard. And as you can see, there is a stop sign down here at the grade crossing. That's because this is kind of a blind crossing too. You don't have much view either direction. And I always roll down the windows here and listen just to make sure the train I'm waiting on is not right up on me. Alright, good. Oh, well, geez. Now there is a small gravel driveway here that I usually pull into. we are having problems with the internet, so as I thought would probably happen with these hills down here. So I don't know. We might not get to get this train here. I really don't want to go further. I don't know. We might not get to get this train here. I really don't want to go further. I don't want to get too involved in going away. So no, we got somebody coming too. Let me get down here, guys. There we go. Maybe had a decent signal down here, so we might. Okay, we are up out of that hole, and I figured that would happen. Hopefully the pictures come back. It's just not a good signal down there to get live stream stuff. So I think at this point we're just going to go ahead and go to Blakesburg, get them there. Bluegrass Road, and this is what we take to get to Blakesburg. Not much further, just a few more turns here. Man, look at those clouds. There might be some rain behind them. We are still in pursuit of our southbound train, and it's still behind us, so we'll be able to get it. I just want to get in a spot where we can actually get a decent signal to actually get the train. Which down in the valleys at Bidwell and 250th Avenue, the cell signal is just approaching Blakesburg. A couple more miles. And hopefully we'll get a better signal there. A-Train says the signal is back. Good. I've lost, a bunch of viewers. And I don't blame you. It's discouraging if you try and watch something and it cuts in and out. But the unfortunate thing is, you don't really know whether you're going to have a signal that drops or not until you actually go out and attempt this. I'm just glad, for the most part, we have a pretty good signal everywhere in Ottumwa. There are a few dead spots right behind downtown, in between McLean Street and Market Street. That's a dead zone for whatever reason. And then up at Rutledge Hill, unfortunately, you just don't get a good signal there either. Pretty much everywhere else I've attempted to go in Ottumwa during a live stream has a really good signal. So hopefully in all this rigmarole we haven't gotten too far behind. We haven't lost much time getting ahead of this train. We are almost to Blakesburg. straight west. Blakesburg is up ahead. That gravel road we just passed is another road that you come off of. You want to get trains down there at one of the other crossings further west, or should I say south. Yeah, I didn't want to go this far away to see this train, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. The cell signal down around 215th Avenue was not good, so we had to go further. Obviously, attempting to go back wouldn't have worked because the train is already leaving Ottumwa. Says video is all right, audio not so much. Yeah, sorry about that. Hopefully once we get down into Blakesburg and get stopped, we'll have a more steady stream of audio and video. We're coming into town now. This is Blakesburg. You're correct, Mark. We just came into Blakesburg, and we're going to go up a little hump in the road here, which goes directly over the tracks, CPKC. Hopefully that train is still behind us. No sign of it yet. That's good. Hopefully our audio is coming back. Well, look at this. We've got a carnival ahead of us. Good thing we're turning. Must be some, oh, Blakesburg got some festival. I don't know what it's called. But they put a carnival right down one of the main streets into town. Well, good thing we're not necessarily going down there right now. It's been a while since I've gone down in here. Hickory Street, and that reflective sign that you might be able to see pretty much straight ahead there, that little white sign that says North Siding Switch Blakesburg. The Blakesburg siding in town, and it ends a little west of town. Are those signals? No. Okay, I was gonna say there aren't signals down here on the railroad. Okay, we're gonna cut down here a little ways. And we're going to position ourselves right through here, near other crossing here in town, city limits, at, no, not Oak Street. Great, I can get down there. It's been a while since I've been down here. Road and go back down, I hope. try. It's an alley. I can make it through. All right. How's everything look, guys? Hopefully it's looking okay, so we can at least get this train. I hear dogs. Hopefully they're away from my wheels. Blakesburg Corn Carnival. Thank you, A-Train. I'm sure that's what it is. Well, this road has definitely seen better days. All right. I don't know if this is train. Oh, yeah. I can't get through here because they've got it blocked off. Okay. We're just parking here to see the train anyways. All right. That's what all the blinking is about. It's the So how is it looking? Is it looking okay, or is it cutting in and out? How does it look? I mean, because this is okay. I mean, if the stream's holding up, this is all right. Okay, Mark says yes. Okay, well, obviously, A-Train says looks good right now. All right, we're just going to stay put. So what they're doing through here, and that's the reason, I don't know if you guys heard, but the train was getting a work warrant. Oh, what's it called? Shoot, I'm trying to think of what it's called. Form B? I don't think it's Form B, but it's a special track bulletin. That's what it is. To proceed through a work site. And this is it. This is the work site where we could hear that train getting the track bulletin for. I guess they're replacing crossings. Which, as you can see, the crossing platform itself is gone from this crossing. I think vehicles might still be able to make it across, but they've got cones here, so obviously I'm not going to attempt it. Well, hopefully, Mark says the audio is cutting in and out. I mean, hopefully it's not too bad. Glad I don't have to worry about a lot of this in Ottumwa. A-Train says not often. Okay, so if it's still tolerable, we'll just stay here. Hopefully that train won't be much longer. Got a pretty good jump on them. So this is South Street, the South Street crossing here in Blakesburg, as we're waiting for a southbound CPKC train. And there are some track workers over there waiting for the train too. I don't know if they're doing work overnight or what the deal is, but there was all these blinking lights and flashing lights, and I thought at first that they were signals, but I knew that there weren't any signals down here on this stretch of the line yet. So it's just from all these track workers that are sitting here probably wondering what I'm doing. But I'm just waiting for the train to go by. It seems to be kind of taking them a while. Hopefully I didn't already go by. I don't think so. There's no way. We weren't stopped at 215th that long. Mark says he closed out of the video and came back. Now everything is fine. Well, hopefully that things stick. I could roll my windows down, or at least one of them, so we can hear the train coming. Yeah, A-Train says several crossings have been closed for work this summer related to tire replacement they have been doing. Well, that makes sense, as you've got to remove the crossings to replace ties that are underneath the crossing planks. It's kind of a tedious and, not so easy task. You've got to remove the crossing planks and unearth, all the ties and stuff from underneath the gravel and roadway, replace the ties, and then put it all back. It's a lot more difficult than just replacing ties on a normal stretch of track, which you could literally just get your machines and just pull the ties out and put new ones in without having to disturb anything on the track, really. Just lifting the rails up and down and getting the ties in and out. And I've seen them do that before on certain stretches of railroad. It's pretty interesting to watch. Oh goodness, where is that train? We're waiting for it. Now this is why I don't really venture away from Ottumwa too much, or wherever I am when I do these streams, because you can't depend on the cell signal to be consistent. You can go in and out, and it's also because of just traveling. I mean, when I did that stream last year of the being on the Illinois Zephyr going to Chicago, even in the Chicago area, I was having issues with the cell signal. And it's not because there isn't a good signal. Obviously, in the Chicago area, you've got really good reception. But I think it was just because I was going so fast on the train that, it's difficult to hold a consistent signal just because you're going so fast. But obviously, since I'm stationary now, the signal probably isn't changing very much. Well, thanks to the 9 people that are still watching the video right now. I think the highest we got tonight was, somewhere in the 20s. Nothing like last time. We got almost 60 people watching at once. But, this is a Saturday. Usually I do these streams on Sundays, so maybe there's more people that are able to watch on Sundays and Saturdays. But then I did my Old Threshers live stream, which that's available to watch if anybody wants to watch that. Just a stream at Old Threshers, not the actual video of Old Threshers. That'll be coming later. But I did a special live stream from Old Threshers this year, and it was kind of reverse. I mean, not as many people watched it live, but afterwards, the video got more views after it was already live, so after the fact. But A-Train just commented, and I didn't think of this, and he's probably right. I am competing with Iowa football tonight. I should have thought about that. So there's fewer people watching because they're busy watching the football game. That makes perfect sense. So I'm lucky to get any viewers at all. Yes, go Hawkeyes. I wonder how they're doing. Obviously, I can't look at any of the scores or stuff while I'm watching this, or while I'm streaming, but good grief. Where is that train? And if I sit here very long, I mean, I hope that these track workers don't come over here and say something to me. Not that I'm, you know, trespassing. Obviously, I'm just sitting on a public road, but I don't want them to feel uneasy. I'm just watching the train. That's all I'm doing. You'd think they'd be getting close by now. Goodness. Mark says tied 7-7 in the second quarter with 2:30 to go. Okay, well.
Signal location, got your requested to the BN.
Yeah, it's kind of a...
No problem, can't see dropping. I believe you guys are going to be switching with a 260 somewhere. I'm just not too sure where yet.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that I didn't stay in Ottumwa because...
That's correct. They just as part of Mayhap got some work in Muscatine. Probably try and catch them at Washington.
It's kind of a bummer that I didn't stay in Ottumwa because I would have gotten that southbound and then that northbound, which is leaving now. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get it even if we leave here. So I really hope that this train shows up so that this little side trip isn't a total wash. Where is that train? It's like it got sucked into a black hole. I mean, we did down there at 215th Avenue, but I'm going to go ahead and turn on the telemetry frequency here on my scanner. Let's see, where's that light? There it is. Okay. I have a bank on my scanner that is just the end of train telemetry frequencies, which when you have those programmed into your scanner, you get to hear the little blips, which obviously they're not, you know, anything, you know, legible. It's just an electronic sound, a garbled sound. But what it is the signal coming from the end of train device that is transmitting over the radio to the locomotives to show all of the, you know, information that the end of train device is collecting in the cab of the engine. So the engineer can see the brake pipe pressure on the back of the train and, you know, a bunch of other things too.
South, Malboard, Blakesburg, next station, Omaha, 330. Back 20, radio. Southside switch.
Okay, so I didn't need to do that because the train's finally almost here. That's probably why, because I turned it on trying to see if I could hear them. But anyways, the engineer can see the data that's being transmitted or collected from the end of train device, because the end of train device sends that data over a radio signal to the cab of the engine. So when you have those frequencies programmed in, and there's only a few frequencies that are used pretty much universally in the United States for trains, freight trains, and, you know, other trains that have end of train devices on them. So when you have those plugged into your scanner, the range on those signals from the end of train device is, you know, a few miles, enough that it takes to transmit from the back of a train to the front of a train. So when you hear those blips, you know that there is a train close by, because the signal is only transmitted a certain distance from the back of a train to the front of a train. So when you hear that, you know that the train is getting close. Now that really helps out on lines like this, where you don't really hear much else away from them getting a track warrant, especially on CTC trackage when there's not a whole lot of communication at all between trains and the dispatchers, except, that for the dispatcher telling them you're going to meet this train here, you're going to go around here, you're going to stop here, stuff like that. And it really helps when you're on lines like this, which trains are traveling at slower speeds, like 30, 40 miles an hour. You get probably, when you first hear a blip, you have probably about, 5 minutes or so to react, get in position, get ready for the train. Now, if you're on, let's say, the Transcon, the Southern Transcon in Missouri, for example, where the trains go really fast, like 60, 70 miles an hour for intermodal trains down there, you might hear that telemetry blip, and the train is pretty much right there. I mean, you get very little warning because the train is going so fast. So if you hear that blip when you don't see anything else going on, you better be ready, because that train is going to come up on you fast. But on these lines, and especially when you're in a chase, it really helps you determine that, like when you're chasing the train, like, okay, I still have the train next to me. I'm still following the train. It hasn't gotten too far away or too far behind me, stuff like that. Or you can determine, if you don't hear the telemetry anymore, that you've gotten ahead of the train and, stuff like that. So they were blowing their whistle at the grade crossing north of Blakesburg, which is right next to the mile board, to a mile away from the siding, or essentially the next station, which is Blakesburg. I don't know if those signs are measured from the beginning of the siding or where the actual station is designated, which I think is kind of part way down the siding. It's probably measuring from where the station is designated, which probably was where the passenger station used to be years ago, which I don't even know how long it's been since Blakesburg's even had a depot. I don't know if I've even seen any pictures of it, but I'm sure they had one years ago. All right, we've got some very bright light coming down the tracks this way. Our train is approaching. Finally. So you'll be able to see this train, which I'm guessing is 260, since the southbound behind it was a 260. Southbound CPKC train with a BNSF leader here in Blakesburg, southwest of Ottumwa. We're going to get this train going by, and then we're going to head back towards Ottumwa as we end the night. The last day of summer, and I was talking about, being out in Batavia years ago with the moon rising and the sun fading. It's kind of a similar situation here. It is nighttime as our train approaches. So, here they come. And we are going to let the train roll by and let you guys hear all the audio before we hit the road to head back to Ottumwa. Southbound CPKC train here in Blakesburg is approaching now. The A-Train comments this might actually be the 2260. Okay. Here they come. Whoops. Now we get better ambiance with leaving the brights off. Got a wave from the conductor there. I don't know if you guys could see that. Pretty cool. And as you can hear, they're whistling for the track workers that are out along the tracks right now. Mark says he hasn't heard any train horns coming through Washington
Stop at 313, stop 3.
the entire time he's been watching this video. Well, I'm glad I've been able to bring some trains to you then. It is pretty cool when you're able to get a train at night. I think as rail fans, we don't really focus on getting nighttime trains as much as we should. If you're able to get a train with some decent light or some backlight, you know, maybe a street light or something to give enough light so you can actually see the train going through, nighttime shots really can turn out nice. And thankfully, there are a lot of places in Ottumwa where you can get really decent nighttime shots. And we will probably have to explore some of those in the future.
8480 south of.
8480 south is running over.
Can I get a complete Bible?
CP rail flat cars here.
SF 8480 south on track number 1052. This is how train complete by milepost 314. If you 314 can't see it come with stuff, let me touch.
Understand the BNSF 8480 south. This is track one number 1052 1052. Report off complete by milepost 314 and P314 Kansas City South. On the main track at 20082008 dispatcher DTE. Is that all correct?
Transport track BNSF 8480 south on track number 1052. Just fire train complete by milepost 314 and P314 Kansas City South main track at 2008. Driver.
That is off correct. Driver is Foreman Louisville.
It sounds like a track inspector is going to go out behind this train. Or maybe it's the foreman for one of these jobs through here.
Merle, dispatch over. Merle Wood. Yeah, I'm here by Lewis. What's up? I talked with the director. He said, get you guys out between this southbound that just left and the one that they're fueling. Is that for about an hour? You ready? Okay, we'll come out behind the 260 here and then wait here for the 576 when he's ready to fly himself. Yes, that'll work too. Alright, thank you. I'll let him know. Alright, thank you, CPKC, Coverage.
As Iowa Trains was just commenting earlier, he said, and this is true, it seems like the cool stuff always comes through during the dark. Yeah, that's pretty true, I'd say. Either at night or just, right before your light is completely gone. So yeah, if you're able to get trains at night, you can usually get some pretty neat stuff. So if there was just one engine on the front of this train, there's going to be at least one more. Either at the end or mid-train. We'll have to see what it is. Because obviously there's no way one locomotive can pull all these cars. The track through here is can be very hilly. As you can see, the train's picking up a little speed, but okay, here comes what ends up being the end of the train. Let's see what it is. BNSF 9165. So 2 BNSF SD70 ACEs are powering that CPKC train as it clears Blakesburg. Well, it took a while, and we kind of went way out of our way to get it. We finally got that southbound CPKC train. So now I'm going to try and navigate out of here. We did it. Gonna go back through town and we're gonna head back to Ottumwa. So most likely that is the final train for this live stream, but we're gonna keep the stream going for a few more minutes like we always do. So we can wrap things up properly. Alright, since that was kind of a successful route, I'm going to go back through this alleyway, and hopefully I don't meet anybody else along the way, like any ghosts or anything. And that's another thing, it is getting to be that spooky time of year. This being the last day of summer, tomorrow is the official autumnal equinox, the first day of fall. Alright, where do I go now? This way, I guess. Okay, yes, this is the way I came to begin with. I'm going to try and navigate through Blakesburg so that we can take the county road north out of Blakesburg and meet up with Highway 34 again, so I don't have to go the long and winding route. I don't even know if this is technically a road. I assume it is. Yeah, as you can see, they're working on the crossing, and there technically is not even a crossing board here. It's just rails with gravel on top. Not the smoothest thing in the world, but it works. We're going to go straight up here to the main north-south road here in Blakesburg, and that'll take us north to get back on the highway to get back to Ottumwa. I hope those aren't Christmas lights. A little too early for that. I think they're Halloween lights. Maybe. They look like Christmas lights to me. So we are heading back to Ottumwa now. And I do not think that the carnival is in our way on this street, but it would be if we tried to come up the other way on the road that we were on before we turned away. Very careful as we go through here because obviously it's very crowded. Oh, wow, that's pretty neat. Man, they got a band up there and everything. Might pan the camera this way really quick so you can see what's going on here. Pretty cool. Oh man, I could smell the food. Well, back on the highway here. T61 takes us north. We're going to get back on Highway 34 for the rest of the way back to Ottumwa. So kind of our last little glimpse of summer there in Blakesburg at the carnival. Tomorrow, it's going to seem totally different as we're in a new season. The weather's going to change. It's going to be rainy. It's probably going to feel a lot more like fall. So, even though we kind of went way out of our way here, I did not anticipate coming all the way down here. Still having audio issues. Hopefully once we get back to Highway 34 it won't be as bad. So as we head back to Ottumwa, hopefully the audio is not going in and out right now. We're about to the end of things for the night. Well, we've seen 4 trains, I think. Yes, 4 trains. We saw a BNSF stack train. We saw Amtrak. We saw BNSF's local freight 664. And then finally, just a few moments ago, we saw our southbound CPKC train, I believe was 2260, in Blakesburg. Now, if I had stayed in Ottumwa, we would have been able to see 2 other CPKC trains, and then I would have been right in Ottumwa to end the stream. So, should have stayed in Ottumwa, but you can't, sometimes you can only make an educated guess on what's going to happen. And you take a guess, take a chance, hope that it's the right chance, the right decision. Kind of way out of the way, but at least we ended up getting a train finally. So as always, as I do near the end of the streams, as we head back to Ottumwa, little preview of why are we driving so slowly. slowly crawl along behind this car going 35 miles an hour. Traditionally, near the end of my streams, I always give a kind of update on my normal, what you would call probably long-form videos on YouTube. You're 12 miles away from Ottumwa. As we turn right, along with this car, unfortunately, to head back to Ottumwa. Give you guys a little update on what I've got. Now we're onto some smooth roads. Yay. An update on some of my long-form videos that I'm working on now, my full-length, feature-length videos. Still nibbling away at the CPKC video, which features some video of CP in the past, CPKC over the past year, which of course includes CP 2816 and the special final spike train coming through here, and also a little bit from Minnesota. Got some video up there in the Twin Cities area that I'll also include in this video I'm working on now. That is my current project I'm working on. And as I said, I am just kind of nibbling away at it. Haven't gotten a lot done on it in the past couple of weeks, but have worked on it some, so I'm getting there. It's a lot of footage that I have to whittle down to the length that I want it to be. So then after that, I'm going to work on my Old Threshers video from this year. Hope to get it done before the end of the year, hopefully November, sometime in that time frame. And then after that, I'm probably going to take a little hiatus for the rest of the year on long-form videos, that is. There'll be some shorter videos here and there, I'm sure, along the way. Any special trains I see, or, you know, live streams like this, I'll probably still keep doing them to a certain capacity throughout the rest of the year after my Old Threshers video is uploaded. And then will be a new year, and start with some other video projects. And I have so many that I can choose from to do next. As you know, I'm working on compiling the video for my California Zephyr documentary, which I essentially have all the footage for, but I might try and get some other shots this fall to fully complete the video. We'll see. I'd like to get at least one more shot that I'd like to get in Chicago, and maybe another one in Burlington, Iowa. We'll see. But technically speaking, I have all of the footage for my California Zephyr video now. It's just a matter of whether I end up getting some additional shots that I'd like to get to include in the final program. But we'll see. And it might be the next thing I work on, and it might not. We'll just see what happens. So we are coming back down Highway 34. We're about to the point where we turned off of the highway earlier to head back, as we head back to Ottumwa. Now, if the video has kept up this whole time on the highway, I will know for next time not to even attempt to go down these roads, these gravel. The video just does not stream well. So yeah, those are the things I'm working on in the future. Be on the lookout for those. Not really a solid ETA on when I'll get the CPKC video done, but I do hope to get the Old Threshers video done by sometime in November. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, there are a few other smaller videos I might upload, which I kind of talked about in the last stream. And then obviously some more live streams. I like to keep doing this. Something I'd like to kind of get back into is filming some more of my model trains, my O-gauge trains. Maybe closer to the holidays, I might do some video of my Marks trains. I have a pretty significant Marks collection that I'm planning on getting out and running for the holidays on a little Christmas-themed layout, hopefully. So I might do some more model train videos as the holidays get closer. We'll see. Might do another live stream or two of yeah, we cut out just brief there. Sorry about that. It's usually I'm just glad that during these live streams I'm actually able to reconnect. I mean, it's the technology for these live streams is still pretty amazing, even though you have some points where the signal goes down. You're actually able to reconnect as you go along. So even though you might lose signal, the stream doesn't end. How horrible that would be if you're right in the middle of a really good stream and then your signal cuts out, that's it. At least YouTube gives you the option to reconnect, and you're able to without your stream ending. That's nice. And the archive, when the stream cuts out, the video pretty much just skips. So it's an interruption, but it's not as noticeable in the archive. So we are almost back to Ottumwa, and summer is almost over. There's just a few more hours left. I think the official start of fall is like sometime in the middle of the night, early tomorrow morning. So summer is almost over. Fall is almost here. So with that, I already gave you a recap of the projects I'm working on now. We're almost back to town. As we get back into town, we'll go ahead and call it quits for the night. We have been streaming now for 2 hours and 43 minutes. Kind of one of the more longer live streams of late. But that usually happens when I end up going out of town. I try not to do that because you kind of go off on a bunny trail, but it was worth it. We got to see that train, finally. We got to see a few other trains too, so. So tomorrow, like I said, I'll be at the Puffer Billy Days in Boone, checking out the train show, and then the whole family is going to ride the Boone and Scenic Valley Railroad. So I might get a few video clips from that. Might compile it maybe into a short or something. Haven't done many shorts lately, so we'll see. Either that or make a little compilation, have it be a normal upload. If I take much at all. I'm not really planning on taking a whole lot of video at all tomorrow, but we'll see. Either way, regardless of whether it rains or not, it'll be a fun trip. Haven't been to Boone in a long time. I think the last time I was there was 2020, so it's been 4 years. So that'll be tomorrow, and then sometime next, obviously I'm not going to do a live stream tomorrow because we'll be doing that. My next live stream will be sometime next week, probably next weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, maybe Sunday, because obviously Saturday I didn't get quite as much reception, but it's probably because of the football games like we were talking about too long ago. And speaking of train, there is a train sitting there in the yard right now. I think that's the 576, but obviously it's dark, so we're gonna let them just go on by. That's another train with okay, it's a CP leader, the BNSF engine second. We are drive back into the Ottumwa area. As you can see the lights starting to twinkle in the distance. And it's a 576, which is an oil train. You can see it, I can see it over there on the left in the yard. So my next live stream will probably be sometime next weekend, probably Sunday, because that way, I mean, even though the NFL is playing on Sunday, the college games, or at least the Iowa games, are not on Sunday. They typically are on Saturday. So I bet you that's why I didn't get as many viewers tonight, because everybody's watching the football games. But yep, A-Train says, add another train to the tally. Get to see. Mark just updated that Iowa is behind Minnesota 14-7 at halftime. Well, they can still come back. They don't get too much further behind. Okay, folks. So be on the lookout for that next live stream next week. I'll let you guys know if I plan on doing one. There might be a video from Boone. We will see about that. There'll be plenty of other updates as the days go along for all those future projects that I'm doing. And hopefully the next live stream will feature my new microphone equipment, so you can have a little more clear audio in the future. But until then, arrived back in Ottumwa. We're going to make a turn here, go past the mall and Hy-Vee as we end the stream for this evening. It was a pretty productive stream. We got to see 4 trains, 4 very different trains. Each one was different, and believe it or not, we did not see a coal train at all, which is pretty unusual for Ottumwa. We saw a stack train, Amtrak, the local, and a CPKC mixed freight. We did not see a single coal train all night, even though we saw 4 trains. A little unusual, not bad. Something different, which is always nice. So with that, this is Bobby Harvey as we end the stream for tonight. We will see you all next time. Regular upload or live stream, whatever it may be, here on the Bobby Harvey Video Productions YouTube channel. So with that, we're going to say goodbye for tonight, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. So long for the night.